Good evening, everyone. A very warm welcome to this stellar NFT artist night. Myself, Ben from Boring Crypto, and we've got Glow Jeter with us over there in the States. And these amazing artists, we're literally thrilled to be offering the first insight at this scale into Stella's NFT artists, kind of a few questions for them, what inspires them and what fires them up and the stuff that they've done. What we have done tonight before we get into the meat of the show is we've put a banner on the bottom there so you can follow all of these different artists, okay? So you can go there, you can follow them on Twitter. They can, show you whereabouts to find themselves on Lightmint and all of their work, etc. We are going to be giving away just one NFT tonight. We've made that decision, or I made the decision and I shared it with the artists who agree that what we're going to do is we're going to elongate this process. One reason, because not everyone can get on live. There's some people in Asia that are not able to join us because obviously of the time difference. So to help people to get one of these NFTs, we're going to be doing an exposure for an artist every single day for a whole week that's going to enable people to get hold of these free NFTs. And believe me, they're world class. They're absolutely top drawer. The artists here have put a lot of effort into their work. Sorry, I'm just trying to do two things at once while I'm talking to you. And they are really top drawer. So tonight is going to be Dablo's NFT that we're giving away. I'm going to show you that in a second so you can see what we're going to be giving away. And to get that, it's completely random. All you have to do is you just have to put Lightmint Artists Rock, and you will see the banner at the bottom of the screen here. It's going to tell you exactly what you need to write, and you need to write that in the comments. And what happens is the software is going to pick up that, and it's going to do a random draw that we tried last week, which was brilliant. And we had Michelle win 1,000 LSP tokens. This time it's going to be a fantastic NFT from Dablo. I randomly picked which one we're giving away tonight. But all of these artists here are going to be found, well, over the next 7 days on Boring Crypto's channel. And I'm going to be putting up the pieces of artwork they've provided, tagging them. So get behind them, get there, get retweeting, help these artists be seen by many more people in the crypto space. It's fantastic that everyone's here, that the comments are blowing up already. Lightning Artists Rock. Yeah, I thought you might start posting that already, early days. We're going to start off and we're going to rotate, myself and Glow, we're going to rotate as the host. Tonight we're going to be asking the questions. The questions are predetermined or pre-written, and the reason that I did this is that some of the people on the call tonight, English isn't necessarily their first language, or they haven't been on live streams very much. They're artists after all. They're not live podcasters. So if they're a little bit shy and a little bit, not confident initially, let's stick with them. Let's give them loads and loads of support, because I think the first thing is that they've decided to come and share their experiences and their kind of inspirations with you. But also, we've got to be saying to ourselves that, it's not a widely done thing, is it, going live, right? So I've done the questions so they have an idea of what they're going to be answering. If they want to add any layers to that, that's absolutely fine. We can add some layers to that onion so they can give you some more value if they so choose. And if not, you've got some great questions that I've come up with, which I provided them all with. So that's how it's going to work. Glow and I are going to rotate. I'm going to begin with Dablo. So with all of that said, I want to give, first of all, before I get into, I've got so much to share with you. But first of all, before I get into that, I want to give massive shout out to the JPEG Massive, JPEG DAO, and also the Nuna Massive. These are two huge art projects on the Stellar network. And the reason I want to give you a shout out is because the artists here are only representation of the quality that we have. I haven't kind of gone, I'm picking my mates and you guys are all not being included. There is no reason in the new year we can't have another artist night and another 6 or 8 artists come on. Okay, there's absolutely no reason we can't do that. I just picked these guys because I started to get to know them a bit in the early days, and then added a few extra people into the mix. So I want to shout out to all the artists on Lightmint who are doing amazing work. Yeah, because Stella's creative machine is growing daily, and we are fascinated to see where that's going to lead in 2022. So with all of that said, let me just say hello to a few people in the comments before we get on to it. Good evening, Dave. Great to have you, my mate Dave. I think that we've got Javid with us still. We've got Raymond. We've got, who else have we got in here?
We got Jack Winetooth. We got Mr. T. We got Craig. We got the Simple Potato in here. We got everybody in the chat.
We're adding, Shark Anthony is in the house. Hey, and there we go. Loving what you've got going on behind you there, bro. One of
yeah, thank you.
I've seen you've been killing it too with these live shows and the metaverse shows as well, Shark.
Yeah, it's been fun, but we'll dig into it when the questions start coming my way. So glad to be here. Thank you guys for throwing this. Glad to be here.
Yeah, and absolutely. And Nettie at the bottom there. So it's good to have 2 females representing Stella in the house tonight, which is always a good thing. So I think crypto is, what is it, 85% male dominated. So the women are fighting back. Yeah, we've got you. So it's great to have you with us, Nettie and Glitch Cat tonight. Okay, so the way that I'm going to do this is, as I said, we're going to switch about. We're going to do one interview first, move on to the next one, right? And then we're going to delve into lots of different topics. So if everyone can mute themselves that is on the panel, then we're not going to be getting any kind of feedback or any family noises or anything. So if you mute yourselves, guys, the first person up is Dablo. So I've got the questions here, mate, and we're going to run through them, okay? And then, like I say, if you want to add anything to the questions, then we can add a little piece on the bottom of it. So just bear with me while I pull up my questions here. Host is not organized. Sack him. Wait a minute. Okay, we're off. So, Dablo, great to have you with us on the show, mate. Fantastic. Please introduce yourself to us. Yeah, give us a little bit of, or the viewers, a little background kind of into your journey, art, and kind of NFTs, all that sort of stuff, please. Is he here? Ah, he is here.
Here we go.
Could you?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Dablo? He's struggling.
Sorry, Ben. I think you start with somebody else, so I could fix my internet problems here.
Yeah, not a problem.
I plug my computer to the.
Not a problem. Well, should we flip then, and should we go straight in with Shark? Shark, you happy to run straight away?
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you.
Yeah,
awesome. Yeah. I had the stream mute, and then I have my own microphone here that I also have on mute just in case anything. But yeah, no, I'll kick it off. I don't mind. I'm ready to go.
Okay.
Do I sound good? Everything look good? Everything sound good? Just making sure everything sounds good on my end.
You sound absolutely perfect. Looking good, sounding good. Everything's rolling.
I like the glasses.
Yeah, I do.
Thanks. Yeah, the future looks bright. So I had to wear sunglasses.
So same question then to you, Anthony. If you could answer, like, what's tell us about your kind of journey into creativity, art, and kind of elaborate how you kind of fell into that path.
Yeah, so my name is Mark. You guys can call me Shark. I also perform under the name Shark Anthony. I've been making music under that name for 10 years. I found some regional success in the Southeast United States, playing a variety of clubs, parties, festivals, IRL events, opening for artists that come through to town as like the local opening support. If you guys are familiar with that type of concept, I've kind of been that guy in the Southeast United States for about 10 years. I ended up going back to school about 4 years ago. I ended up going to Savannah College of Art and Design, where I studied a degree in sound design and music production, just to really double down on my love for my art and what I do within sound. And for the last year, I've just been freelancing, doing sound design on motion media, animation, film projects, while also simultaneously making music as Shark Anthony and continuing that path. And I'm just kind of tapping into the skill sets I've learned in art school with visual art, and then now combining it with the 10 years of experience I have with music and sound, and seeing where I can fit into this whole NFT thing moving forward. So it's been a lot of fun.
So when did you, when you talk about your sort of journey, and it's like the music being the foremost thing, like as part of your sort of creative talent, when did you start putting together that you can blend that with like the crypto space, and you kind of come across NFTs and that kind of world opened up to you?
Yeah, so in Web 2 as an artist, when you have a song or a new project, you develop what's called a treatment or a rollout, which is kind of like promotional content that leads up to the release of the song, just to get people hyped on the new song, to get them to go pre-save the pre-order, maybe pre-buy it, whatever the case may be. And a lot of that for me entailed creating little tokenized glitchy videos with a snippet of the song to kind of tease the song coming out, that you would be getting in like 4 weeks to a few months. And as I started to learn more about NFT, I was like, holy crap, I've always been making NFTs, these little tokenized sound, items, but I was just using them in Web 2 to like promote my song. I wasn't really thinking of, minting them and selling them as collectibles to my audience. So yeah, I think like that was the main thing that really connected the dots for me. And then, hearing about it, I think February 2021, I started to really like hear about it. I would hear Beeple. I've been following Beeple for 10 years. It's funny that over the course of those 10 years, Beeple had been putting out these free virtual, these visual jockey loop packs, these like free visual loops that he would put out. And he would say, hey, go ahead and play these on tour. Like if you're playing at a club, project my trippy visual in the background of you playing live. And this is the same Beeple that is now an iconic figure in the NFT space. So I think in February 2021, I saw him tweeting about it, being like, hey, what is this NFT thing? And he kind of got the question bubbling in my mind. And that's kind of where I started to draw the connection to how can I use it in the way that Beeple is beginning to learn how to use it for his own craft. So
yeah, that's pretty cool. I know, I kind of get, from being in clubs and stuff, I kind of get that visual thing that you're saying, that kind of gets projected. I think that it's particularly eye-catching, and again, it's for me probably another representation of how you can have ownership, on the blockchain of a certain piece of content. So talking about ownership of content, how do you see this unfolding in the next 2, 3, 5 years? How do you see? I saw someone comment on one of the social channels the other day, and they said, NFT equal fad. And I'm like kind of the opposite camp, where I think, oh my goodness, we haven't even begun to see the capability of NFTs. And Glow and I have had this debate, or discussion with the community over many weeks about where we're going to see this. Are we going to see them stakeable, in terms of like, being able to take loans out based on the back of this, which we're seeing at the moment, and all this other stuff. But where do you see it? What do you see kind of unfolding?
Yeah, so that's a huge question. I have so much I can talk about it. I think that's kind of why I'm in and out these Twitter spaces all the time, just talking and making my presence known and talking about, what you just asked me, because it's such a deep question in regards to music, songwriting, and music production, just that niche within NFT. I think what NFT is about to allow is for artists and musicians to have super fans, people that really want to buy into that deeper layer of access with the artist, whether that be, one-on-one sessions with them, being able to game with them on the weekends, maybe getting hidden access to hidden channels that have new songs, hidden music videos, maybe tickets to IRL events. I think this is really going to revolutionize how artists are able to connect with their fans. And now with the fine art aspects that come into the digital art world, with having collector bases and auctions and stuff like that, now musicians can tap into those types of systems that have already existed within fine art. And I think it's going to be a really, really powerful moment. And another thing is the metaverse. Just a few weeks ago, I played my first concert in the metaverse, which was completely life-changing and eye-opening. It definitely clicked a light on in my head about wearables and how you can tap into that as an artist. Say you throw a virtual concert, you can drop a free wearable for your audience that has signed up and paid to come get a ticket. Now they have a ticket to see you in the metaverse, and they have their first cool digital wearable that they can equip while they're dancing in the crowd in the metaverse. So there's lots of ways to incorporate digital merchandise now as an artist, because you have to think about, as a musician for me, performing in these bars and clubs, of course I'm getting paid for my time to be there and for the labor that goes into the show, but you make money off merchandise, the CD sales, the t-shirt sales, and things like that. So I think this is going to open up a whole new door with how you merchandise as an artist, and even just do free airdrops for your fans and say, hey, come see me live. I'm going to give you guys a free wearable, like sport it, come out, have a good time. It's just going to unlock a whole new set of potential for musicians to tap into this new technology. And it's a really fascinating time to be here, growing with it and finding where I fit in.
For sure. Yeah, it's crazy how interactive it's going to get with the NFTs and with music. There's a lot of different platforms for NFTs. How did you find out about Stellar and what drew you to Stellar?
Yeah, so in February 2021, like I said, when I saw Beeple kind of poking tweets around about like, what is this NFT thing? He was tweeting other guys who had been doing this since 2014. So I hadn't even known NFT was going on since then. But yeah, you know, when I heard about Ethereum and like minting and like that was the first blockchain I had heard of with this stuff. So when I went, it was funny. I made a Rarible account, promoted it to my audience, like, hey guys, I made a Rarible account. I'm gonna drop my first NFT. Got like 100 and something followers. But then when I realized how expensive it was to mint, I was like, damn, I don't know if I can afford this, guys. Like, I'm so sorry. So, but simultaneously, while I was learning about how to navigate Ethereum and all that gas stuff, I was invested in Stellar, and I had came across Lightmint.io, the battle card game that Frederick develops, who also develops Lightmint Marketplace. And I started playing because I figured, hey, I'm a gamer. I want to find a way to make money while gaming, and I'm not going to be a live streamer yet. So maybe just play some play to earn games. But yeah, I hopped in the community Discord for the game, and then I slowly learned that Fred was developing an NFT marketplace, and I just kind of stuck close in Discord and just like watched the development of that happen. So I really waited, like it was really a strategic time for me to like hop onto Stellar because I saw Ethereum was doing its thing. I knew Stellar was going to have marketplaces beginning to pop up. Like I said, I was into this stuff in February, but I didn't drop an NFT till May. So there was definitely a lot of downtime there to do research and learn about other blockchains and how they operated with gas and transaction fees. But yeah, I just stuck near Fred and like watched how he developed the platform. And I think it was May 19th, I minted my first NFT on Stellar. It sold the same night, and the rest is history. Just kind of been learning and adapting. You know, I've had highs, I've had lows, but I love this space. I love learning. There's a lot of really talented people here that come from all different walks of life and all different skill sets. And that's what I love about the Stellar ecosystem, is that it's so diverse, so international. You're meeting people from all over the world that have all different types of stories to tell and all different types of knowledge sets that you can tap into and utilize. So really powerful to be here growing NFTs on Stellar. So
yeah, I think you've hit so many. For me, like you said, talking about unpacking such a lot of of high quality content there. You're talking about play to earn. And I was just talking to someone earlier today, and we were saying, people in the third world now have the ability to actually play a game, say on a mobile device, and actually probably earn more with the game than they do from their national minimum wage. I mean, that's where we are. They can get crypto, they can flip the crypto, and they can actually, and it's staggering when you think that's the impact of NFTs and this kind of GameFi, metaverse, this whole thing we're moving into now. Which I think is really difficult to try and fit into a box. I think it's because every day we're evolving, aren't we? And like you said, yourself and all the other creatives on the call are contributing towards this wider experience that we're going to be having in the next 3 years. But it's going to radically change, I think, many aspects of our daily lives. There's no doubt about that. What I'm going to do, Shark, that's absolutely fantastic, everything that you've shared with us. And, there's lots going on in the comments, and there's lots going on. We're going to avoid my generalized crypto questions. So we're going to move on. Glow will go on. So I want to say thank you, because we're going to get everyone with the NFT questions done first. Definitely. And then if we've got time, we're going to go back. Okay. So thank you very much for joining us. That was really insightful. And I look forward to catching up with you with the other questions later on. Cheers, pal.
Definitely. Yeah. Thank you for having me. Yeah, dude. Definitely.
So Glow, you're up, and if you go with Dablo why he's still got a internet connection, then I will start answering some of the questions and putting some of the questions on the screen.
Definitely. How's it going, Dablo?
Hi, how you doing, mate?
Pretty good. So go ahead and introduce yourself. Let the viewers know a little bit of background in your journey into art.
Okay, what can I say? I started as a kid. I always love to draw, and I've been studying in some fine arts university in Bolivia, where I am Bolivian, by the way. And then I moved to Spain to study. I studied in Madrid a little bit more, and there I met some friends, and they introduced me to the tattoo world, and I find myself there in a very comfortable way. It was like, yeah, that's a really good way to make money with with art, doing what you love, doing what you really like. So it likes me a lot, and I've been tattooing like 15 years and going well and doing well with art. And eventually, I'm still doing some of my stuff. Like I'm an artist, like in my specialty, I can say it's etching. I like xylography and lithography and many kind of etchings. I'm still producing some kind of drawings or etchings, like the both you can see behind me. This is my studio, by the way. I came here for the live, and I'm working here. And here's the place that I discovered NFTs. I've been reading about it. Then I get into it. I tried many times in many ways, but I couldn't make it. As Shark says, there's OpenSea, there's Binance Marketplace, there's a lot of places that offers you something, but you can't afford it. It's like always, if you have to pay something to get some reward, it's not a reward, it's just paying something to get something back. I don't know. And some friends of me helped me a lot with introducing me in this world of NFTs. I've been producing some, but we're now lucky until I find some other guys that told me about Stellar. I started with Lightning, and it was too fast from this. It was very fast for me. Somebody discovered the piggy banks and started buying. I think it was Luminator. We all very thankful with this guy. And then everybody started talking to me about things, and here I am selling piggy banks and working half time with NFTs now.
That's amazing. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of tattoos. I think that's amazing that you bridged over to tattoo world, kind of with the NFT world. Can you give us a little bit of insight of what similarities the tattoo world has with NFTs and maybe some of the differences as well?
I think it's a very different world. That's why I wanted to bring tattoos into the NFTs, because I think there were everything on NFTs. It's like an art, it's a new kind of art that everybody are doing their own thing. My own thing is etching and tattooing. So I wanted to introduce something in the NFTs that have tattoos. I was always wondering and thinking about if there's a metaverse world where I can have a tattoo studio for the avatars of the people. It would be perfect. So I'd say, okay, let's make some punks with tattoos. And it came to a friend of mine, Ramin, hello, he told about, hey, what about just piggy punks? I said, piggy banks? No, piggy punks. Okay, that's nice. It's catchy, I like it. And I used, actually, 15 years ago when we started, we really used to practice tattoo on pigskin. So it was really funny in this moment. So we start to working on it, on all this project always with some friends helping. Otherwise, it wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be anything without the help of my friends and most of the people on Twitter. And that's why I bring tattoo in this world. I hope to get more over like this metaverse thing. Is very exciting.
I love it. One of the things that I think is a big similarity is they're both permanent. Once you put it on the blockchain, it's there. Same with tattoos. Once it's on your skin, it's not
Didn't
going.
think about it. Yeah, you're right. It's forever.
Where do you see NFTs and the Stellar network going within the next year or two?
Okay, I really kind of say something about the future. NFTs are so big and getting so bigger that pretty soon they're going to be everywhere. You could be able to mint some of these things just in the way with some applications. I'm think everybody was always looking for arts like a way to hold their money there. It's like a piggy bank. And I think this NFTs are called to be the next thing. People is not going to stop to buy real art. I mean, NFTs art as well, but I mean real paintings or things like this. But they're more NFTs are more affordable and easy to transport. So it's going to be easy for them. I think everybody is looking for it. It's like a way to an investment.
Definitely. You have any final words before I pass it on to Ben to get on to the next artist?
If I have, sorry, I can't.
Do you have any final words or anything you want to share before I pass it on to Ben?
Oh, what can I share? I'll show you some of the old paintings, but I don't have anything on hand now for
Gotcha.
show. It's this night just for the piggy banks and NFT. I think tattoo. You could watch my profile on Instagram as well. That's my name.
Definitely, I'm gonna check you out, and if I'm ever in that area, definitely gonna come by and get a tattoo sometime.
It's gonna be my pleasure. And by the way, I'm seriously thinking that most people should do this. Accept payment on crypto. I'm talking with my developers and especially with my web page to upgrade it so I can get paid by crypto with even with the tattoos, whatever. So if anybody is coming to Greece, just feel free to visit.
There we go. We got our own stellar tattoo artist in Greece if you're ever in there. And he takes
thanks.
LSP and he'll take XLM.
And the most fabulous thing about that, Dablo, is that you are Bolivian, right? You originate from Bolivia. So you met some guys studying in Spain, you're Bolivian, now you're in Greece, practicing your art, doing your tattooing. I mean, and then you've blended all of these different cultures as well, haven't you, into some of the styles and the stuff that you're doing. And obviously, inspired by the people that you've met on this journey that you're working with now. I mean, to me, I find that clash of all the different cultures, because I'm a passionate traveler, is amazing. When you start to get a little edge of that, you think that looks a little bit like, sort of South American. It's got that kind of vibe to it. And then there's a little bit of like Western Europe and stuff. So everything that you're doing, I'll take my hat off to all of you guys. But everything you're doing is absolutely fascinating. And for people like me that can only draw a stick man, I'm just looking every day and thinking, I need to get these guys together for a good chat, so we can kind of learn even more and get the creative juices flowing. So thank you very much for your contribution. I'm glad the internet held out for us. What I'm going to do here, guys, I'm just going to pause for 1 second while I pull up Dablo's NFT for tonight, so you can have a look to see if you want to post Light Mint Artist Rock, in the comments, and then you can be in for the random draw that we're going to be doing at the end. So if I just share my screen, you will see what Dablo's created for us. So let's have a look. Brave Town. So hopefully you guys can see. Can you see this?
Ooh, I like that helmet.
I know. I like the helmet, but also like down here, look at the tattoo with the Lumenswap writing on it, and there's an actual pig and a rose, and I just thought that is a class act, isn't it? So American football helmet, Lumenswap hat, and it's got the pig. I mean, this is a unique piece, as all of the designs are going to be for you guys over the next week. And I'm thrilled to be able to say we're giving that away to one lucky viewer tonight on the live call. And there's so much cool stuff coming. Believe me, we've got so many talented people, but that's just one of 8 over the next 8, tonight and 7 more days until next week's show, when we give away the last one of these. So every day you're going to get an opportunity on my Twitter to be getting your hands on one of these cool NFTs. So that's the first one that we're going to be doing. So I'm going to stop sharing that screen, and we're going to move on, and we're going to bring one of the ladies on. So we're now going to move. We're going to speak first of all to Glitch Cat. Good evening, Glitch Cat. Can you hear me okay?
Yes. Can you hear me?
I can indeed. Very warm welcome to this NFT Artist Night. Great to have you with us.
Thank you.
So we're just going to go through the same process, Glitch Cat, right? So first of all, just kind of, open our minds to how you became, ingrained in the art world, what started you on the path, etc.
So I guess I've always had kind of a liking to art. I loved coloring as a child and, drawing birds and doodles on every piece of paper I could find, basically. And so I kind of just took art throughout high school and, just went to school for psychology, oddly enough. And so that was because of my passion surrounding mental health. And yeah, just not being able to finish schooling because financially I wasn't able to really go finish. And then like about 5 years ago, I came down with a chronic illness that kind of has kept me home, I should say, ever since then. But basically, yeah, during the pandemic, it just kind of was a really scary time. For me personally, I didn't really know what I could do in life. And basically, art was the only thing that I loved. It was my passion. I had, multiple ideas of what I could possibly do, but I just felt like art resonated the most with me. So basically, I ended up just trying to get like a tablet if I could, because I saw that people were creating like little stickers, and being able to sell their like merch and their art, online, like places like Etsy and stuff. And so I kind of started to motivate myself into starting and beginning a platform where I could share my art and who I am as a person. So I managed to get a tablet, and I downloaded, Procreate, and I just kind of started to draw, you know. And I kind of just practiced over and over and over again. I don't really have a certain type of style. It's kind of like all over the place, because I feel like with, that is the epitome of mental health. You are all over the place, So I feel like in that instability, I guess where I kind of pulled my name, Glitch Cat. I'm kind of like all over the place sometimes, So I guess it's a little bit fitting. But yeah, no, I just ended up on Instagram, and doing the little art challenges kind of really inspired me and pushed me to kind of keep track and focus on keeping track of my art and really putting like content out there. And so yeah, with the NFT world, I kind of started to hear more about like the crypto and like different, like Bitcoin, like that was around for like ages, but like other coins as well. And I just so happened to come across XLM. Someone really close to me kind of just was like, I know you're struggling, and like if this could help, here's a little bit of XLM and here's a website. They kind of put me onto Lightment, and they were like, this, what you have kind of works on there. And so I kind of looked more into it and did research. And that's where, I've kind of found a home and where I've kind of started. And yeah, I basically released my first series, The Comic Cats, and they're little cats. So you could see my little icon. It's cats with like little headphones. And that was basically kind of like a test run. I kind of wanted to see if, my art was even good enough, to sell. I didn't really have very high expectations. I didn't really know what I was capable of. So I kind of put it out there, they're really cute and funny. And I kind of just wanted to do it to kind of like cheer others up, and kind of like all that like darkness that I was feeling. I kind of wanted to bring a little bit more like brightness and life into the world. And I think that was kind of the inspiration that I drew with the cats, just making them, different personalities, and just, making people smile. And then with the Crystal Girls, that was a whole other like inspiration that I kind of drew in, which I'm so super proud of, because it embodies so many of the things I'm passionate about, like women empowerment, and just portraying a strong female role model. So I'm just happy I get to create and draw my own little world and story of characters with like the same skin color as me and that look like me, because I feel like growing up, like even Disney, like I know that as time goes on, they represent more and more for, people like me, brown girls out there. And so I just love that, I'm able to do that now. And it's crazy because you never think as a kid or growing up that you would ever be in that position. You see these companies as, kind of almost like untouchable. They kind of make it seem like it's a dream world. And it's, in a way, the NFT world has kind of almost made my dream come true, because just being able to kind of be my own artist and be like, this is my style, and I'm able to put that out there. myself. So it just gives me more hope that more representation will come, and it basically is.
Well, I think for one, from when I think, was it Shark? I think Shark put me on to you. I think it was. I may be wrong. But I just want to say that just through looking through your Twitter, I immediately, because I'm also interested in psychology, philosophy, and all that kind of stuff, but also empowering women. Right? I've got this deep hunger to empower more women. And I did a series back in 2016, a podcast series about empowering women from different backgrounds and walks of life. And I got that feeling from you that you're out there as like a, a woman that is, is showing her true self in terms of like, the words that you're using. You're inspiring not just women, but, guys like myself as well. And I think that, struggling and, having those mental challenges, I have them myself. And, I think a lot of people can relate to that. And I think for you to be out there, as an artist, as a woman in crypto, doing everything, I take my hat off to you. I promise you that, like, you're probably one of the most inspiring artists for that reason in the space. So just keep doing what you're doing. You're an icebreaker for a lot of people who are following on behind, and they're going to follow on behind. So it's an absolute honor to be sort of sharing this panel with people like yourself that, even through your struggles, you're inspiring. And just know that every day you're feeling a bit down, there are people like me that you are, elevating. So thank you very much for that. Just to finish off, last question for you. Where do you see, give us a couple of use cases, or where you see NFTs, kind of what's going to be happening with them in the next, year, 2 years or so?
Really, I guess the possibilities are endless. I've seen so many uses just, within the past month that I've kind of been in this world. I've been to like a virtual like concert, like I've been to virtual galleries, like I've just experienced so many things that I just never really like could imagine that I could ever go to. I didn't think that it would be this popular, and just just so much hope that within the next 2 years that we're just going to be coming up with new ideas every day, more and more. Like we never know what people are going to come up with. And so yeah, just hopeful for cool ideas coming in. And I like the real life uses for like fashion. I'm a big I take a lot of inspiration from fashion and design. I actually design like costumes and outfits and stuff myself. So that's something else that I'm going to also be putting out. But yeah, no, I'm just so hopeful that there's so many different types of uses for the NFT space to grow. And yeah, it's just kind of incredible, like how many different things you could come up with.
Yeah, I think, the possibilities, as you said at the beginning, are endless. There's the potential is every time I think there's a limitation, the limitation falls, because someone like, Noor, for example, in the Lumenswap chat says, no, that's doable. I can learn this and buy this computer and you're like, whoa, my head's, just exploding. So, the potential is there. And once again, thank you very much for sharing all of that with us. Again, I think, one of my friends here in the chat is down in New Zealand, I believe she is. Where is she? Jennifer. I think she's in New Zealand, and we share some of the same philosophies. And she's saying that, you rock, and it's a great story. So, thanks once again to you. Over to you, Glow. Take it away, bro. Pick your next artist. You're muted still.
There we go. Can you hear me now? I think I'm going to pick on Ink this time. How's it going, Andrew?
Hey, how's it going? I'm Andrew Dixon. I also go by Ink on Lightment and on Twitter. How's it going, everybody?
It's going. Tell us a little bit about your background, how you got into art, how you got into NFTs, and where you got. As much as time as you got.
Now, I have a very compressed thing for you. So art's been my whole life. My mom noticed at an early age that I really liked painting, and she found a private teacher for me, and that did it for a lot of kids. So a lot of kids in my area when I was little, this is the early 90s, she taught us all how to paint and best of our skills, and that's where that started. And I kind of it kind of took off a little too fast for me when I was a kid, and it was weird to have that to be in like young artist competitions and winning. So like I tried a lot of different things. I went to college for film. And that was in the mid 2000s, and that's when digital was really starting to take over, especially for entertainment, so that's kind of all I heard at the time was how everything's going digital, and a lot of things are still being made traditionally, and we still make a lot of things traditionally. I mean, like Dablo with his paintings, I paint myself. That's my original background, and to have that world be part of this world has been something that I think has been a barrier breaker, because the art world has been pushing us away from feeling like digital was worth it, outside of it being like say like what Glitchcat said, like with Disney, if it was an animation or something of that nature, a video game, something that required like an instant like gratification of profit was tentative for artists to get a job in that. And that doesn't work out for everybody. I mean, that's like, it's really hard. Like Shark would know, in the music industry, it's really, really cutthroat. Even if you went to school for something, it makes it really tough. And when I think about like my road as an artist, it made so much sense the moment I heard about NFTs, because everything was like sort of like building up to this moment. It's pretty amazing, to be honest.
Definitely. How did you find out about Stellar and their NFTs on the Stellar platform?
I think it was one of the like Stellar community people, because like I had found out about Stellar early on in my crypto like journey. And that was probably one of the earliest things I latched onto, because I liked the way the project, handled themselves and the things they do in the crypto world, and how they want to make the real world a better place on the blockchain, as well as the blockchain world. So, I can't remember who it was exactly, but I remember they said how like there was a marketplace now on Stellar, and it was new, and I was struggling like everywhere. Like we all have the same story. Like I don't even want to repeat this, other than that, like I can remember how much it cost to mint something on OpenSea before all this blew up, and that's like early 2019. So flash forward to about July, I finally said to myself, okay, I gotta check out Lightman. And it's just unbelievable. I mean, everybody here, look what we're doing right now, talking to each other like this. Is there a YouTube show for OpenSea artists? There like, do we know who runs OpenSea? Do you interact weekly with the developer of OpenSea? Because I interact with Frederick a lot, and this is like unbelievable. Not just in blockchain, but in the whole world. It really is the amount of community, the amount of positivity, and actual things being done. That I couldn't stay away from. Like I felt like when I joined Lightment that maybe, I didn't want to step on any toes, because some people were like, oh, you gotta get your art on there, and like Sam Connor was like, oh, I really would like your art on Lightment, and I was like, okay, see how it goes. And like stuff started selling right away, and I created Stellar Punks in August. And I did not realize that was going to turn into like Stellar Badge. Like that was going to mean so much to everybody in the community. that I went from being a guy with no money to being feeling okay, you know, and making a future for myself. And it just pushes me even more to make sure that everybody else around here gets equally as much as attention. Like, I don't know what causes collections to become popular, but I think every artist has great potential and great, you know, they deserve it.
Definitely.
You know, it's not just one. You can't just say that one person deserves it more than another. You know, collectors may get latched onto something because of popularity, hype, whatever it may be. But I think a lot of collections get pushed forward the more attention is drawn to them. Not so much the value, but I think like just the attention drawn to a person feeling like they're doing something with their art, like Glitch had said, that it makes you so free, you know, that I don't know where else you can do this, especially, you know, on Stellar. I mean, what does it cost everybody?
We keep on going back to the fact about OpenSea and Ethereum NFTs and how much it costs to mint. It's not sustainable for both the artist or for the art collectors to pay more to mint the art than the art's actually worth. You also mentioned Stellar Punks. I'm a big fan of Stellar Punks. One last question: where do you see Stellar Punks going in the future? Do you have any plans to expand it, or where do you see?
Yeah, there's like there's things in the works. Naw knows more than you know, other people do. We're talking about some things, and he's one of those guys, like Bennett said, oh, I could do that, I'll get this, and like think to myself, well, gee, I'm that kind of guy too. I'll do it. Yeah, sure. Yeah, cool. Let me just give me a second and I'll figure this out. So I think like that's like the thing. Like it's beyond just like I like where Stellar Punks is going. I want to see like where the community can take it to, because now we're talking about like a lot of people that do want to get involved and they want to get their own projects, you know, into things like games. And I think that a lot of us out of nowhere decided that you know, a couple of drawings could turn into something so much more, whether it be an animation. Like Cheesley's got all kinds of little animations that he's producing. And I don't know, you know, where it stops, because it's not just about, you know, where Stellar Punks could go. It could be, you know, I've got a comic strip, you know, I want to get a game or a couple of games made. It could be done in any form, you know. We've all mentioned how like where NFTs could go, and like I saw the Macy's Day Parade this year giving away NFTs.
Ooh, wow.
And they weren't just giving away ones; they were doing ones for charity auctions, and that was on Polygon. So they were promoting that as green energy, you know, not Ethereum. So for us to have gone from a few of us shouting to nobody like a couple of years ago about NFTs to now it being on national television, and the LA Lakers are playing at the crypto arena now. So in 2 years, God, I don't even want to think about how many things could be attached to this, because you could do it with anything. Yes. Action figures, comic books, animated movies. I mean, you could produce your own animation, turn it into an NFT, and people can carry around with them all they want. And they literally have endorsed and own a piece of entertainment that is way beyond them just saying, oh, I bought this movie on Amazon and I love this movie. You could literally say, well, I funded this and I have it here because it's I got the NFT for it. So I'm part of the production. You know, that's the level of NFTs. NFTs creates that freedom in production for artists that I think is really going to scare the big business people, and that's why they want in.
Yeah,
and that's good. They can get in. They can get in all they want. It's just artists are going to do a lot on their own, and I think they already are.
Yeah, it gives the power back to the artist.
It does.
There's no longer a middleman. And you mentioned all the mainstream adoption for crypto and for NFTs. I'm seeing more and more celebrities put their avatar as an NFT, whether it be a Bored Ape, a CryptoPunk. It's getting more and more into mainstream. I could talk to you all day, but I think we're running a little short on time. So I'm going to turn it over to Ben to get on to the next artist.
Thank you, everybody. Now you're on mute, Ben.
Muted too.
I guess we're doing miming now. So I'm going to take over. So I'm Ben.
Yeah, no, I was, you know, that exactly what that means. That means space punks with cow horns, right? We don't need to say anything else, Inc. We know what that topic of conversation is, right? But
well,
no,
you know, I got busy with Christmas stuff, so I'm sorry that I didn't finish yours today. You're hogging all the NFTs this week anyway, so
I will not give them away. I'm keeping all of the giveaway ones. It was a trick. It was a trick.
The great British trick on all Americans.
Exactly. It was one of those Halloween trick or treats. Trick. Oh, thank you very much. I'll take all these NFTs that you've all created for me. Absolutely great content. And for someone of your caliber, with your experience in, you know, your style and everything, I think, you know, it's incredible that you are so inclusive of the small guys that are, you know, coming onto Lightmint, and you are, you know, buying their art, you're promoting them, you're tagging them. I mean, you're probably one of the most active people I know on Twitter, elevating the whole space. You're like a high tide that rises all the NFT artists. And you, again, in your own unique way, a truly inspiring guy, and it's an absolute honor to know you. So thank you for answering all those questions, mate. We'll catch up shortly. Moving swiftly on, we have got Edward, who is Doggo Blocks creator, struggling with his device. So what he's going to do is, I'm going to ask you, Edward, now, if you're listening, you can start putting your answers to the questions in the private chat. At the end of the show, I will bring your answers to everyone else. It's a shame that we can't get you on the same as everyone else where we can hear you live, but that's the best we can do tonight. In the meantime, I will bring you back on in the new year when we have another show, and then we can hopefully get around those technical problems. If you put those in the private chat, your answers to the questions, I will answer those last thing for you, mate. Okay, moving on. Let's go now to, I will go on the female side of things again with Nettie. So, Nettie, can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me?
I can. God, you've got a lovely voice. It's one of those mellow voices. It's like put on my headset and like I can just zone out to that. Amazing voice. So first of all, give us a little bit of an introduction, Nettie. How, you know, I know that you've made a lot of chops and changes, by the way, to get on tonight's show with work. So thank you for that. Tell us a little bit about yourself, how the journey's unfolded.
Well, that's the funny thing is that I'm actually more of a gamer than an artist. So I started more on the streaming gaming side. My story, I would say, is I started as gaming. As a child, that was the first thing that I did. I became a fan of the art. So, you know, I always wanted to know how to draw. So that led to learning how to draw. So that, you know, as I got older, kept drawing. Graduated high school, got introduced to digital media, which is kind of like a combination of both art and, you know, the gaming and the computers that I was like always into. Anyways, long story short, I just started kind of just back into drawing and just started sharing my art on Twitter. And little by little, everybody just kept telling me like, yo, you got to do NFTs. You got to do NFTs. You got to get into NFTs. And I was like, yo, but like how? Like what's stopping anybody from right clicking on an image, saving it for themselves and claiming, you know, just claiming it. So that's kind of like why I hesitated to even putting anything out there. And I just kind of focused more on merch, on doing merchandise, like, canvases, posters, bags, t-shirts, and stuff like that. But then, again, everybody's like, you got to get into the NFTs. And I was like, all right. So I get into this OpenSea, and I don't know what was that for. Just a curiosity. I just had to see what this was all about. And I just couldn't believe. I was like, you know what? Let me just sell this for a reasonable price. Boom, boom, put my little price in there. And then I see I have to pay $1,500 just to mint something that wasn't even like $50. And I was like, this can't be. And I'm just like, this place is like so saturated. There's no way everybody did this. There's no way that everybody in that platform had that much money to mint that much NFTs. I just couldn't believe it, right? So now I try another platform. Which was it? So that was OpenSea. I did Mintable this time. Same thing. I was like, this can't be. Like, I just, and then I kept posting my screenshots of like these gas fees, and it's like everybody was on the same page, and a lot of people were suggesting other platforms that I could, potentially mint my NFTs to, and Lightman was one of them. And, the minute that I got on there, it's just been support left and right. It's been retweets after retweets, and I've never thought, never in a million years, that my art or whatever I created myself would get as much attention and love as it has from Twitter and from, everybody. Like, everybody always second guesses their craft almost, and it's not until you kind of just throw yourself out there and you realize that, you know what, there's something for everybody. There's something for everybody. If this person doesn't like it, somebody else will. And that's literally what happened.
So I think, like you said about, it's unique, isn't it? I mean, I think Jack and I were talking in the early days about an NFT on the Lumenswap chat. And he's like, I bought this NFT. It's so cool. It's even got music attached to it. And I listened to it and I was like, this is crap. You know what I mean? This is like just not up my street at all. But like you say, I mean, there's something for everyone. No matter what floats your boat, there's something out there. So you can go through Lightning and you can find some amazing, amazing spectrum of different talents, can't you? And like you say, people that like your stuff. How do you kind of see, let's go more personal. How do you see your NFT journey evolving? And how do you see NFTs being used, over the next couple of years?
I see NFTs just being the new canvases, honestly. You could have, I would love to see a hallway with probably like 15 hanging NFTs with rotating images on them. And that would just be the dopest thing to have on anybody's house, just this hallway of rotating NFTs. And that it's kind of like valuable art. It's going to be, for sure, it's going to be like valuable art at this point. But my art, that's definitely what I would love to see, is the go-to NFT to have hanging in your home kind of thing.
Yeah, I think, I've just bought 3 of those digital canvases, murals. So I think they're kind of like an upgraded, you used to have the digital photo frames.
Yeah.
They're kind of big. The only thing I don't like about it is you have to have it in like either 16:9, 9:16, so portrait or landscape standard. Mm-hmm. And I think when I kind of buy NFTs, it's like, you get that horrible black margins, don't you? So I need to have them resized. But saying that, a lot of artists I've said, is there any chance you can resize that to 9:16? They resize it in, and they just look absolutely amazing in those digital frames. So when you're talking about a corridor, I've seen a couple of YouTubers with them up behind there, like, their trading screens, and I think it looks the absolute dog's nuts. It really does. And I think, like you say, so there's going to be that physical. But I'm thinking, we could see, tickets for concerts, and not just in the necessarily in the metaverse, but I mean, you can actually have, some kind of keepsake, can't you? I think Shark Anthony touched on it regarding how we can have an NFT from a musician or something as a keepsake, and it being the ticket as well.
Correct. Yeah.
Fascinating stuff. So just finish off with sort of Stellar, and you've had these bad experiences with huge amounts of gas. You found Stellar, you found a place where you can make some good money and you can sell some of your art and your creations. Stellar, as for me, been a slow burn. It's been a build first network. It hasn't been hyped. It hasn't been marketed hard. Do you think now we've got the kind of additional features such as the automated market makers, and we've got Lightning, and do you see that an exponential growth coming?
Oh, for sure. For sure. I mean, the speed that XLM has, for sure. Like the freedom that I have to mint as many NFTs that I want because I can afford to, and anybody else can afford to buy also. Once people start catching on to it, it's endless. It's endless, for sure. So yeah, Stellar, yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
No question about it. Yeah.
I think there's going to be a tipping point for me when it really kind of shifts into the next gear. When people start realizing, and especially developers coming and building out different applications that are open source, so people can literally drag a DAO, for example, get the code like you could on smart contracts on the EVM chains, and then say, right, we can make this decentralized, product with off-the-shelf code stuff that we've got, the open source code. So I think as soon as we get to that stage and more developers come, it's going to be a snowball effect. It's been an absolute pleasure, Nettie, and firstly, thank you very much for everything you've done for Bull Runner and the Lumenswap community. You've done some incredible Lucy's. If you haven't seen them, guys, go and check them out. I think my mate Dave is who's in the thread tonight. I think he gobbled up most of them last time. So I know that we've got another auction running with your artwork for the Lumenswap posse at the moment. So that's great. And thank you for everything you've contributed there. So we're going to wrap up with you, Nettie, and move on. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move over to last but not least on the panel is going to be Noor, and then we're going to touch on Edward at the end. So Glow, do you want to, shall we do a bit of a tag team on Noor? Because I feel as though with some of the stuff, the creations he's coming up with, we need to probably double up on him.
Oh yeah, for sure. Definitely want to welcome the man, the myth, the legend, Nah. The stuff you're doing is next level. Can you kind of give us a little bit of background on how you started Nah Bear Project and what it's all about?
Sure. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. I actually found out about Lightmint through Shark. Shark and I were friends for quite a long time because we made music on SoundCloud and we were in some Facebook groups together and stuff. So he had mentioned about the NFTs on Lightmint, and I gave it a shot under a personal account, and I believe my NFTs sold unverified within 24 hours. And so it was a good sign, but I just wasn't ready. And during the time COVID and everything happened, I was working on assets for Pixel MMORPG, and a lot of the ideas that I had weren't really working for that. It was missing something. So I spent a lot of time just studying Lightmint, what was popular, what the ecosystem was like, who was doing what. And I just put together a solid product that just was visually stimulating multiple genres of pixel art. And we just expanded upon that, just kept trying to make sure that every time that we announced something that it was building hype, not false hype or anything like that, but we're actually following through with the things that we were promising, because that's a huge thing, is that I remain the main creative force behind the project. We have a team, and they've been extremely helpful in keeping me organized and keeping the project on its feet. And without them, it wouldn't even be possible, in my opinion. But together we make an awesome combination of visual art We're trying to incorporate like Metaverse into a Minecraft server right now, where the server will read your wallet, log you in through the Stellar network, and read off NFTs as items that will be given to you based off the null bears that you have on your wallet. And like that's not a crazy concept to even think about because it's already being done on another blockchain, just one. And like I've already spoken to many developers that are also Java developers that can work on making that an actual thing, like in the near distant future, like not the years from now, but like soon, like within the next few months, we could transition from just a crappy, you know, Minecraft server that I'm building that to like a fully functional like world that has quests that you can level up, you can become the different classes, you know, like so. But a lot of my artistic like creative adventure, if you will, came from just being a young child that just needed to escape, and like I had a really like rocky childhood. So like when I didn't feel right or didn't feel safe or something, I would just draw and escape reality, and I would play a lot of video games, and that was my escape. I played World of Warcraft for like 15 years. That's like where a lot of my social skills came from, was just crapping on kids in World of Warcraft, like with my rogue that I played for 15 years. Like I just thought that like you learn a lot about like how to become a notorious person, how to become that figure, or like how to like really like stand above as like a character. And like that took a lot of inspiration behind that aspect of like my life that was, you know, present for quite some time. And so I was always inspired by art. I actually learned how to draw when I was like 4 years old. I used to trace Dragon Ball Z comic books until like I could draw them off the top of my head, and I just traced and traced and traced. I took art in school. I was self-taught outside of school. I actually learned more outside of school than I ever did in school. Um, I never went to college other than for like computer science for a few months, and then I dropped out to make music, and that's, you know, how that music stuff happened. So um, every skill that I've like managed to pick up over the past like decade has come in full circle, uh, you know, into something that's tangible with these NFTs. And you know, I just think everything happens for a reason. I'm grateful to be here, and you know, for my team and everything.
Yeah, we're definitely grateful to have you. I think it's next level with incorporating the Minecraft into the Stellar network. Just being able to play Minecraft and earn NFTs, earn money, and get to interact with people. That's just crazy to think about.
It's all extremely doable too. It's not like even a crazy thing to think about, because like Hypixel server was a fully functional like PvP, like Hunger Games type server where you could like battle other players. There was faction alliances, like good players and bad players, and you could like fight each other, and like that's all doable. And then like I just spoke to the Java developer, and he was just he's not very familiar with Stellar, but it seemed like he had an idea of like where to go. And if I can get somebody from Stellar to talk to him for like 15-20 minutes, this can actually happen. And this is already happening on another blockchain, so it's not like a crazy thing, like I said. And I'm just really excited because I played Minecraft for like the entire time it was out, like low key. I always liked to build. That's why I actually learned how to do pixel art, was in Minecraft, just building houses and just playing around with it. And you know, I had that deep MMO RPG background. I like Path of Exile, like ARPG games. Like I'm real into like real complicated, in-depth, mechanical based games where like this does this, this affects that. Like I want that for what we're trying to build. I want like an immersive like quest, like you like an experience, like an immersive experience. And I think we're gonna make that happen.
Yeah.
I mean, just to touch on, because you've talked about so much there. Just to unpack one point, you're talking about being able to connect up with the Stellar wallet to then go and have a metaverse experience, and you think that's something that's on the cards that you're fathoming out at the moment. Well, give us a sort of time frame you think that you'd be able to fashion something like that.
The developer and I were talking about like it being able to be like a thing within like 10 weeks while he's on break, like because all that really needs to happen is him to be able to understand how Stellar incorporates with Lightment and like being able to read the NFTs and everything that are in your wallet, and then you just associate items to those NFTs, which is already being done, and we just need to like reverse engineer what's already being done and just make it happen, because once that happens, like Stellar is going to be known for having a metaverse that opens up the potential for like Lumenswap to own virtual land, that opens up the potential for Nuna to have virtual land, for the JPEG DAO to have virtual land. Like you own like a piece of that as an NFT that's in your wallet that like is in the main JPEG DAO wallet or what have you. Like I'm not that well versed in like the technical stuff, but I know how to put the right people in place to figure it out. I know what needs to be done. You know what I mean? I'm that kind of person. Like I'm at the end of the day, I'm just some guy drawing like pixel bears. You know what I mean? But I have a big dream, and I think this is actually doable.
That's amazing. And I see that your NFT launch is coming on December 1st. It's coming up next week. Can you give us a little bit more information about that? Tell us what to expect with that.
Sure, no problem. I've already put up the NFTs, the wave one. So they're in waves. There's every 9 bears is one wave. I intend on releasing a wave a week. And what we're going to do for the first week is 7 out of 9 of those bears are going to be put on auction for 3 hours. And we only want $60 US, which I believe is like 180 XLM, because that's about the price of a video game. So if you own one of those bears, you're going to get access to the metaverse, like when that's a thing. Like you have a guaranteed no problem, like you're going to own a bear, therefore you have access type of deal. And so what we intend on doing with launches, depending on how it fluctuates and like how like the need, we don't want to flood Lightmint full of NFTs because there's 9,999 of them. You know what I mean? I don't want to pump like 9,000 NFTs into Lightmint. So like we're gonna just like pace it accordingly and just see what the people want. We're gonna respect the other artists, because at the end of the day, this isn't a competition. We're here to support each other and help each other grow. You know, Null Bears is just the cute, cuddly, ferocious beast that's just going to help everybody get to the top. That's all this is. You know what I mean? Like, so with launch, like I said, if you own a bear, you're going to get access to the metaverse stuff when that's a thing, and that shouldn't be a problem to make that a reality. I want like the items that each bear has to be actual like separate items. So like if like on my screen you see the tiger stripe fur with the energy staff, and like I put a turtle and the repair hat just for giggles, but like I want you to be able to own like separate items based off the NFT that you got. And like they already have rarity, they already have metadata and traits and stuff like that I put in the description. So like there's going to be 2 out of 9 that are going to be put up for auction for 3 days. They're going to be the most rare, and that's going to be whatever they go for. They all go by a rarity weight, and so the lower the number is, the more rare the NFT is. And that's all calculated through the math that we've already planned out and everything. That's on our Discord. You can type in discord.gg/nullbears. You can go to nullbears.com, twitter.com/nullbears, and that's it.
Thank you, mate. And I think that you are, you know, amongst, you know, highly esteemed, you know, Lightmint artists tonight, but you are showing us all a new light. I think it's fair to say every single person's on this call tonight, we're all kind of going 10 weeks to like do this whole, I mean, I'm not holding you to that, by the way. I know this ballpark and you can have challenges, but 10 weeks to get to a point where we can connect with our Stellar wallets and go into some kind of crazy virtual world. I mean, you know, even to try and comprehend and, you know, unpack that is like, my mind's pickled. I'm thinking, geez, that's only like, you know, Q1 of 2022. Give us, because you've given so much value already, give us some, you know, inspiring stuff that you think NFTs are going to be used for. It besides this kind of, you know, going in and buying land inside the map. How else do you think we're going to be able to use them other than the stuff you've already uncovered?
Well, since I come from a really, really strong music background, like I said, I met Shark, and we all did music on SoundCloud. So I was on SoundCloud since the like conception of SoundCloud, and I saw it fall apart to bits and pieces. And so like I learned a lot, and I really have faith in people like Shark that are doing stuff like with the virtual shows and being able to put NFTs as tickets to virtual events and stuff like that. I really think that there's people out there that can't go to like can't go to public events. Either they're too anxious, or they're disabled, or they have something wrong with them. And it would be life changing to attend one of Shark shows just one time. And that's really all that needs to be said. Like that's where NFTs, in my opinion, are really going to shine. Once these mainstream like Hollywood people pick up on this, it's game over. This is how it happens. Like it's already. We just have to sit back and just be a little patient, because it's in the works. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Anything else from you, Glow, to wrap up with Noor, because he's given us quite a lot. My brain is actually melting down.
One last thing. I've seen that you have a talent for bringing people into the Stellar network that don't have any experience with Stellar, and I see that you can do it seamlessly. Can you kind of explain your strategy of getting people onto Stellar and into NFTs?
I think I can help with that part. And my main advice is, if you don't have a customer service background, like I was a server at restaurants, you have to be able to like pick up even virtually when someone's going to shut down. And when somebody shuts down, it's like, all right, you explained something, and then they start shutting down and they start rejecting it. You have to be able to pick them up right away and be able to like, no, I'm fine. We're fine. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to wait, and we're going to work this out together. And you have to be able to word it right. You have to be able to like spin it right to them and calm them down and get them to a position where their brain is ready to learn and ready to accept the information, or else it's going to get rejected. So like my best advice is, you bring them in, you say, look, this is really easy. We go to 3 websites, screen clip it, circle it with a shitty circle with your mouse for all, you know what I mean? I use a drawing tablet, but you know what I mean? Like draw a circle where they need to click, make it stupid easy for them, and they'll do it, and then look back and be like, that wasn't hard at all. And then they'll tell a friend, and then that just like Shark explained it to me one time when I opened my first wallet. And he didn't even have to explain it to me when I came back again, because I already remembered that's how easy it was. So all it takes is one person to just share that information with you, and it's so easy and seamless that it just. And we have it on gnawbears.com. If you go to gnawbears.com/knowledge, we explain the whole process on how to open a wallet and get your collectibles on Lightment.
Yeah, I think that's one of the videos that I did recently as well, where, just showing people how they can claim, how they can, because I was totally confused with, okay, I've sent you this, right? It's not here. I didn't realize that you had to go and actually kind of claim things. And so I made a little video to help those people in JPEG DAO claim their airdrops that they're getting, the NFT airdrops. And, I think, like you said, if we can break that down, one of my passions and my goals is to take quite complex topics and to try and break them down into bite-sized chunks so people can understand it, and then hopefully more people plug into what you're doing. If I can kind of take what you're doing, which is quite technical and quite deep, and then if we can unpack that some way and make it easy to understand, and then we can literally see a tsunami of people come into Stellar and into the space. I don't doubt that for one second.
Yeah, you have a really like a specific and like genuine way about you that like is easy to learn from. I've watched all of your videos, and like every video I've walked away with like value and knowledge, and like your voice and just everything is just pleasant to like observe and listen to and just gather the information with. So like with people like you, it's definitely going to happen, like because like we only really need like one person to explain it, because then everybody's just going to funnel to you, and then there it is, the information's there. So
that's kind of you to say that. I think that, I look at everything that's going on and I get so excited. Sometimes maybe I need to be more like Queen's English, right? Let's break this down. But I get really hyped by everything, and like kind of some of my videos are like, calm down, for God's sake, man. You're way too excited. But I appreciate the kind words. I'm going to flip over and I'm just going to read out. So thank you very much, Noor, and everyone, by the way. Plug into everything that's happening with Noor Bears. You need to go across. We're going to go around all the artists and we're going to ask them where we can find them in a second, finish the show off. Before that, we're going to do the live draw for Dablo's Piggy Punk. Yeah, and we'll get that done as well. But I want to go over, because he's been struggling all night, we have Edward right now. He has written some comments for us. What we're going to do is we're going to fix the technical issues and we're going to bring him back, okay, next year onto another one of these type of shows. We're going to see how far we've moved in a couple of months. So Edwards has written the text format. I'm just going to read it out to you, and then hopefully we're going to get a feel for what where he's come from, and we can see some more of him in the future. So hello, everyone. It's nice to meet everyone. I'm Edward. I'm an NFT artist and collector on Lightmint. My journey to art started in high school when I decided to take this hobby serious. I joined an art school where I mostly did traditional art, drawings, paintings, with an emphasis on metal engraving. So again, I don't know whether that's kind of tied in with etching, which Dablo was talking to us about earlier on. Actually, my first NFTs on Lightmint were some of my early metal engravings, but they didn't really do well. Later, after I finished my studies, I transitioned to digital art and 3D modeling because I had an opportunity to work in this space. Right now, I'm working on 3D models and characters for an e-learning company, and in my free time, I'm creating NFTs. I was first introduced to NFTs, I think, a year ago when I found some NFT sites. I was searching engraving art and found some really cool artists. They were selling on those NFT websites, so I started researching, and soon I was completely hooked on the idea behind this new tech. So there's just a little introduction into Edward. I think we need to hear him. We need to, kind of get his feel for everything that's going on, the same as we have with the other artists. So what I'm going to do now, guys, to finish off the show, is first of all just say it's a heartfelt gratitude that everyone's invested 90 minutes with us tonight, both on the viewer side, but also from the panelists. I think everyone's got an absolute boatload of value out of this 90 minutes tonight. You've really got, if you're interested in NFTs, you're interested in what they can do and the artists behind them and their inspirations, I think you've got an absolute crap ton of value tonight. So thank you to the viewers and thank you very much to the panelists. We're going to come to the panelists for their contact details in a second. Just having a look through the comments before we move on. And I'm intrigued to know why Ink is wearing his helmet on the screen, but he will elaborate, I'm sure. So let's go and share the screen and do the draw. Okay, so off we go. Share the screen. Giveaway, share. Glow, can you see this?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, so here's the draw, and this is going to be for Dablo's, beautiful Lumenswap pig.
Who's going to be the lucky winner today? Hey, there we go.
Looks like a fix. It's my mate Dave. Well done,
Dave. Add it
Dave.
to Lucy's.
Yeah, you've got that. Wicked. Well done, mate. That's just hit me up and we'll sort that out for you. So well done, Dave. It's great that one of the Lumenswap family has won that. I'm going to stop that screen share now. Just to finish off then, guys, we're going to move around to the table, starting off with Noor. Noor, where can everyone find your stuff? Give us your handles, your website, etc.
Go to nullbears.com and just follow it along. You'll end up at the end where it has everything anyway. So Discord invite, Twitter, Instagram, all that. So nullbears.com.
Thank you, mate. Moving over to you, Glitchcat. Where can we catch up with you?
Hey, so you can find me on Lightmint, so at my name Glitchcat, and also on Twitter, and I'm on TikTok as well, so all with the username Glitchcat, and you can also find me on Instagram under Cindy Studios.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Over to you, Shark. Where are we finding your stuff? I'm sure you've got multiple different channels to find you.
Yeah, I'm spread out all across the internet, with the visual and music stuff. If you just type in Shark Anthony anywhere online, really Google, you'll find everything about me. You can find my Twitter, my Instagram. If you follow me on Twitter, it's Shark Anthony, but the O is actually a 0. If you click the link in my bio, there'll be a link tree, which will actually break out into a ton of links where you can find my NFT store, my latest music single, and just tons of places online where you can stream my music. And if you're into the sound design and film audio stuff, you can dig into my website and see my professional reel and see all the kinds of projects that I work on with tons of creatives across the internet and across the globe.
And when's your next concert gonna be? Because I definitely want to tune in for the next one.
Yeah. So right now I'm actually, after the show, I'm getting ready to drive down to Florida, about 7 hours away from where I am, for Art Basel Miami. I have a lot going on there this week. I'm going to be promoting the Null Bears project as well. I haven't spoken about this, but I plan to actually buy land in Bear's metaverse where you can actually come hang out, and hopefully we can actually build a stage of sorts in his metaverse to host concerts in there. So that would be a really cool opportunity. But I have 3 in real life shows, IRL shows lined up in the South Florida region. So if you guys just touch base with me on Instagram and Twitter, if you're going to be in the South Florida area for Art Basel, I do have a lot of live performances. And if you're holding one of my Glitch Shark NFTs and you show it to me in your wallet, you're going to get in for free to each of those shows. And you're also going to get 1 drink with me. So if you're of age and you can drink, then we're going to drink and have a good time. So tap into that IRL utility that my NFTs unlock, and let's get it. As far as metaverse shows go, like I had the one a few weeks ago in Crypto Voxel's metaverse, but when I return from Miami, I have a lot of meetings lined up with other people about future metaverse opportunities. So that's where the bulk of my time has been right now. I've actually put a little bit of pause on the art creation, and now I'm aligning myself in the music metaverse space and trying to lock in more stuff so my collectors can tap into that utility that the NFTs unlock. So really excited for that stuff. But yeah, just follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and we have a community Discord server as well if you're into that. But that's where you can find more about the shows and whatnot. So thanks for having me on, guys.
Awesome.
Thank you very much. Yeah, thanks, Sean.
Moving on to Stellar Punk right in the middle. Where can we find you at?
Well, you can find me on Twitter. That's really the only place you're going to really find me. Art by Dixon. I know Ben was wondering why the helmet. It's Christmas time. It's Stellar Punk Christmas time. I mean, eventually you're going to see the Punk Workshop. Okay. Now the Punk Workshop is going to be giving out other artists NFTs. When you buy the Punk Workshop NFT, you will be getting from my collection other artists that I've bought over the year as a gift for Christmas. You may also get something of mine. Who knows? But I mean, come on. If the helmet didn't come out today, I don't know what I'm doing, you know? So you can find me you can find me on Twitter. Art by Dixon, Lightman, it's the same. I also have the Stellar Punk official Twitter page, but I tend to just use that for retweeting and things of that nature. Maybe in the future that will take over, you know, in some form, working on a Discord server for things. And I have
how do we get involved in this? What are you going to do to enable us to get involved in this kind of giveaway that you're doing?
Well, it's pretty simple, actually. All you have to do is just buy the Stellar Punk Christmas Workshop NFT. Yep. And then I will be airdropping people who buy that NFT something from my collection.
Okay.
So that's a claimable, like you said. So as people come to get more comfortable with Lightman and how airdrops are distributed on the network, you're going to see a lot of stuff like that. And yeah, look out for my Nuna project, because I'm going to be working on that into the beginning of next year pretty hard. So along with Stellar Punks and, the ever fixing of the visor, there's a lot to come.
Thank you very much, Ink. As always, great to hear from you, and thank you for sharing that. So everyone needs to watch out for that and jump on, because I'm sure there's going to be some pretty cool NFTs coming out of there. And then we're down to Nettie now, I believe. So Nettie, how can we connect with you? How can we find your work, etc.?
I'm mostly on Twitter, Nettie Bella. I do have a Linktree link in my bio on Twitter, so you can you can see where my Instagram is, my personal Instagram, my t-shirts, my NFTs are on there. So everything is on there, even my Twitch, everything is on there. So
we can just find that, and then we can get a whole host of
pretty much, yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. That's really kind of you to share that with us. So guys, that brings us to the end of the show. I think we've done 90 minutes, and I think we've really murdered that, or killed that 90 minutes as best as we possibly could. It's been so much fun. I've learned a lot. I hope you guys have all learned a lot out there. I'm going to leave you all to your evenings now. Once again, thank you. And remember, this is just the beginning. This is just us exposing a small group of light mint artists for you all to go and follow and then to enjoy their work. We are going to be expanding this out. We're going to be doing this every few months so that we can bring new artists in, and some existing ones that we've had on already. But also, over the next 7 days, once a day at 1900 UTC, which is about lunchtime, 2 o'clock in the afternoon for the Eastern Standard guys, Eastern Standard Time people. We are going to be giving away one of these artists' creations for free on my Bullring Crypto Twitter. And you just need to plug in, you need to see what my post is to get in with a chance of winning that NFT. It's only going to be a case of sharing the love of the NFT artists on Lightmint. If you get involved in that, you could be the winner. I'm actually giving away all of these NFTs that I've collected. I don't want to, trust me, but I'm going to be giving them away. So once again, everyone, thank you very much. Been great. And I look forward to joining you in the next show. Take care, everyone.